North Carolina had to run all the way to the national championship game this year before falling just short. But the Tar Heels are not rebuilding. No, sir, they are reloading. Part of this talented incoming class of 2022 is Jalen Washington. Had a chance to sit down and have a conversation with him, and we're going to check that out on today's episode of Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, it's Friday, May 20th, 2022. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast. I'm your host, Isaac Shade, beat writer for Sports Illustrated's All Tar Heels website, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Tar Heels your first listen or your first watch all day. Please don't forget that we are free and available everywhere that you get podcasts. So go ahead right now, subscribe to the show. For those of you watching, you too, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, that helps us so much. And while we're talking to Jalen, would love to see your comments and your thoughts about him coming to be a Tar Heel. If you've got questions for him, drop them in there and I'll see if I can get those answered for you at another time. Also, pretty cool, if you look on the YouTube channel, I know there's a lot of Charlotte Hornets fan out there. We have actually partnered with the Charlotte Hornets Locked On team to showcase their episodes on our YouTube channel, and they're going to showcase ours on theirs. And so for those of you that are Hornets fan, just trying to make your searching a little bit easier. So please go and check those out. Let's get right into it now, the conversation with Jalen Washington. What an honor here today on Locked On Tar Heels. We are joined by Jalen Washington, incoming freshman at the University of North Carolina for the basketball team. This basketball team coming off a near national championship run. Is Jalen Washington the piece to help bring it all the way? We hope so. And today we want to start by just talking with Jalen to get to know him a little bit. Who is he? Where does he come from? What does he like to do? What's it like being freakishly tall like he is? And so we're going to talk about all that. So Jalen, welcome in. It's great to have you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So just obviously we know you love basketball, but let's get off the court for a little bit. What outside of basketball, what do you like to do?
I just like to get into a lot of different things. I like to have fun. Just recently, I went bowling with some of my friends. So I'm up for anything, any new hobbies, any new games or events, activities. I'm up for it.
That's awesome. How's your bowling game?
I'm struggling right now. Need some work.
You need to practice on the Wii or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you are from Gary, Indiana, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you love about where you're from? What do you love about your hometown?
There's a lot of actual like celebrities that we do have, and a lot of talent that we do have in the city that a lot of people might not know about. Like, obviously, we have Michael Jackson, but we do have other artists like Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
We actually have a lot of athletes that are doing well right now. We have Jave and Lonnie Johnson that are doing well in the NFL right now. We actually have a lot of talent and great people that have come from Gary that a lot of people might not know about.
That's awesome. I got to ask you, have you ever seen the musical The Music Man?
No, I haven't.
So have you ever heard of it?
No.
So there's a song in there where this dude sings about Gary, Indiana, and he's like, I'm not even going to sing it because it's going to be, but you need to go look it up. He just says Gary, Indiana over and over. It's ridiculous. So there you go.
Man, check it out.
You will. It's super cheesy and corny, but just so you can say you've seen it.
All right.
So Jalen, tell us a little bit about your home life. Tell us about your family.
I live with my mom and my dad. Got an older brother. I have an older sister who actually stays in Houston. But growing up with my brother, always really competitive. He always, pushed me to try to get better. So everything I see that he did well, I would try to do it a little bit better. Parents, really hardworking people. They work really hard and they try and instill that blue collar mentality in me. Recently they got into basketball and, they just love supporting me and they love coming to the games and everything about, basketball.
That's great, man. It's so funny. I was talking actually earlier today, to Simeon Wilcher's father, and he was telling me how Simeon is the youngest of four boys, and same kind of thing of like being the younger one just taught him to like have to fight and
Oh
scrap
yeah,
and have some of that blue collar. I mean, do you think that's a thing for youngest children?
yeah. I think all like younger siblings can resonate with that. Just wanting to be extra competitive, having that extra drive to beat your older siblings.
That's great. Does your brother play basketball too? Do y'all go back and forth on it?
Yeah, yeah. We haven't played in a while, just due to injury. But when I get fully clear, I'm looking forward to getting the one-on-ones again, just like when we were kids.
Man, that's so fun. I love it.
Oh
Love it.
yeah.
Love it. So I feel like, Jalen, I've heard you talk on an interview some before just about your faith and what that means to you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So my parents, they really, I grew up in the church, and I feel like that's where once I started to grow up and understand about it more, I just started building a more connection with Jesus. So I put dream in my bio because there's really something that's really important to me, because I feel like no matter what goes wrong or what happens in my life, that Jesus is in control of everything. So I can have pride in that, and know that, and have peace, and know that everything is going to be okay, because I have a relationship with him.
Amen to that. Thank you for sharing, Jalen. That's awesome.
No problem.
Man, that piece, I'm tracking with you, dude. That's so good. Um, for Carolina people who are wanting to get to know you, as I told you at the beginning, I feel like my job in sports media is to help people get to know the man behind the basketball player. And so, what is something that people might not know about Jalen Washington that you'd want to share?
Jalen Washington is a really goofy guy. He likes to joke around a lot, make people smile. Have conversations with people. I feel like I'm a people person, so Tar Heel fans, if you ever see me around campus, feel free to talk to me. Start a conversation with me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Listen, I know this guy, but go hang out with him. He's a good dude. So speaking of which, Jalen, so I am 5'11". Like I never made it even to 6 foot tall. And so for someone like, what are you? I feel like I see different numbers. Are you 6'9" right now? 6'10"? Where are you at?
Yeah, 6'9", 6'9", 6'10".
Okay. So what is something that somebody like me, who's not even 6 feet tall, wouldn't realize about being as tall as you are?
Um, that everything isn't really made for tall people. Cars, ceilings, there's seats on the plane. Yeah, it can be rough a little bit.
I thought about I'm actually hopping on a plane on Wednesday morning to fly to New York, and so because of that, getting ready for talking today, I was like, dude, I bet poor Jalen has to get in the emergency row or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Always try to get the exit seat every single time.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Like door frames, like do you have to duck going through them?
It depends. Sometimes it has a little the thing on top of the door. You don't want to hit your head on
Yeah.
that.
That's so good. I love it. Thank you for sharing all that. Well, in just a minute, we're going to keep talking with Jalen. Want to get to just hear a little bit about the recruiting process for him, what that was like. But before we get to that, I want to tell you just a little bit about Built Bar. Oh man, when I open the pantry door, you know what calls my name? It's that tub of icing. I just want to get into that funfetti icing and get all the icing out of there and eat it. But I probably shouldn't because it's loaded with sugar. You know what's a great alternative? It's the Built Puffs, the birthday cake Built Puffs. These things are phenomenal, and instead of all that sugar, the real icing, this is just 150 calories, 9 grams of sugar, and yet 16 great grams of protein. That's what you're getting when you eat a birthday cake puff from Built. In fact, I just received some this past weekend from Built, and I gotta tell you, after trying it, I've never had anything like these puffs. They're available right now, and I can't promise they're gonna be here forever because it's limited time only. So go and grab yours today at Built.com. Keep in mind, these are covered always in 100% chocolate, and with the birthday cake puffs, it's white chocolate, and it's even got these little sprinkles on top. So remember, it's delicious, but also healthy for you, and that is a great bit of news. That means not only can you eat healthy, but you can actually enjoy doing it. Who has ever heard of that before? Keep in mind, these Built Puffs are made with collagen protein, which means that your body can absorb those more efficiently, and it provides a ton of health benefits. So go to built.com right now and get you some of these birthday cake puffs. And when you check out, make sure that you use promo code LOCKED15 and you'll get 15% off your order. Again, that's promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Also, I want to encourage you to check out the Locked On NBA Big Board. We are not too far away from the 2022 NBA Draft, and these guys are going to get you ready. Host Rafael Barlow, he's from NBA Draft Junkies, as well as the author of the NBA Big Board newsletter, is joined by Richard Stayman, Sam Ferris, and Leif Thulin to give you an in-depth look into the NBA Draft, mock drafts, player rankings, and of course, the big boards. It's free and available anywhere you get podcasts. We are joined today on Locked On Tar Heels on our Friday show by incoming freshman Jalen Washington, class of 2022, one of 4 incredible basketball players coming to Chapel Hill. I cannot wait to see these guys in action. And so, Jalen, I just want to go back and start looking at what the recruiting process was like for you.
Yeah, it feels like it's been so long ago, but I think I played in the tournament in Fort Wayne. That was when I think that was like around the first time they started reaching out. Sean May hit me up after I would play, and I feel like I had a pretty good spring. So I definitely had got interest, and I got that phone call from Coach Davis, and I was excited. Like that, it's been my dream school since I was in middle school. So when I got that phone call, I was ecstatic. So yeah, it meant a whole lot, and then. I ended up committing early. I think it was like July 9th. Everybody around me was happy. I was incredibly happy. To not only be offered, but to be able to commit.
Yeah. What made it? I mean, you as a young man from Indiana, what made North Carolina your dream school?
Just the winning culture. Everything about the school. From the color to the championships. The past players that whose games I admire, have played there. It's just everything about the school. Just seeing it on TV since I was a kid.
Yeah, man, that's great. And like you said, you did. I mean, you committed the summer going into your junior year of high school, and so what's it like to just go ahead and get that monkey off your back and just feel like, man, I'm kind of free to play now?
Oh man, for the people that don't play sports, the college, the recruiting process is really it's something. It can get hectic. so just being able to get locked in, it meant a whole lot, and it was just really it was great to finally get that off my chest.
Yeah. Man, absolutely. And I know for you and people in the classes around you that COVID has played a big role in not being able to do AAU all as normal and other things like that. How did COVID affect your recruiting process and your ability to showcase what you can do?
So coaches weren't able to really come see players as much as they would like to. So just coming into the spring, that wasn't really too much on my mind. It was just, just playing, making sure that, doing everything, controlling the things you can control, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, man, that's so good. What about, there's also this factor with the name, image, and likeness stuff coming into place. Now, you had already committed here before that legislation was passed, but now that it's happened, have other schools, and I'm not asking you to name names or anything like that, but have schools reached out to you to try to like steal you away or to say, hey, if you came here, you could do that? I mean, is there anything like that happens?
No, all the coaches that I had built a rapport with, I called them the day before I had made the announcement and let them know I was committed. So they respected my decision, and they respected my peace and my commitment.
That's great. That's so like you love to hear that like you said, the recruiting process is crazy, but it's just so nice to hear that coaches will respect that. I think people feel like there's so much shady stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and I know there is some of that, but it's nice to hear that. And also, I just want to say kudos to you for reaching out to those coaches that you were going to say no to let them know. Why was that something you wanted to do?
I just feel like, that's just something, like something probably like my dad would want me to do, just out of respect, and my mom would want me to do too, just to set up a text. Text can seem real impersonal sometimes, so just want to be respectful and real appreciative and grateful for them having interest in me.
Yeah. That's so great. So Jalen, let's transition a little bit then to talking about your basketball game and what you do. The first thing I wanted to ask is, I think it's really neat. As a big man from Indiana, Carolina has had some great success. You already talked about Sean May. There's Tyler Zeller, who was a big man coming out of Indiana. What is it like to be another big man coming from the Hoosier State down to Chapel Hill?
Every time we bring up being from Indiana, Eric Montross as well.
Oh yeah.
All the big men that have been from Indiana that went to North Carolina had great success. So that's always one thing that I want to just keep going, working hard to keep going, keep the trend going.
Love that. Well, there's something you bring to the game that none of those other guys did, and that is a sweet stroke from outside. Like, my friend, watching your highlights, that it's just pretty. What has allowed you, even with your big frame, to develop such a good-looking shot?
I feel like it's nothing but the work, just understanding and learning from my coaches. Them telling me like you can go far with the game if you can just make sure that you can shoot the ball. So trusting in them, just putting in the work in the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Because of your height, do you have to work extra hard on those fundamental? Like, just do things get out of alignment sometimes?
I feel like when I was like growing into my body, it could be. So I just put that extra work in just to make sure that I'm touching up on my skills and building my fundamentals up. But I feel like it's all the same work. Work is work.
Yeah. You talked about your growth. Did you have was there just at some moment you had some kind of big growth spurt, or was it just kind of steady over time?
It was like it was kind of steady over time. So like my freshman year, or for like my 8th grade year, I was about like 6'5", and I came in high school, I was about like 6'7". That's when I really started noticing I was growing. And then the following year, my sophomore year, I was about 6'8". Then junior year, it looked like I was about like 6'9". So it's just been kind of progressive. I was never I was always kind of one of the taller guys out of the class, and out of the groups that I was in on the teams.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. So for people who haven't had the chance to watch you play yet, what should people know about Jalen Washington, the basketball player?
Jalen Washington, he's a versatile guy. You can put it on a day. He can shoot the ball. Definitely a willing passer. Wants to get after on the defensive end. Understands that still got to make improvements on every single aspect of the game. But I'm definitely a competitor. That competitive edge, been instilled in me from my older brother. Yeah, so I'm definitely a competitor. Want to get after and get better every day. Want to compete and win, and I can space the floor out, shoot the three, shoot mid range. Post game, I feel like I can pretty much bring everything to the table.
Yeah, man, that's so great. And I love hearing you talk about the competitor in you. When you look at some of these guys already on the roster, like Caleb, or just guys that get after it. Coach Davis himself, right, is just a dog, right? And so, yeah, man, just seeing the energy he brought during the NCAA tournament, for example. What does that just excite you as a competitor to know that you're going to be part of that environment?
Oh yeah, definitely, because I feel like all former players, just got that competitive drive and intensity about them. So being able to see that on TV. Even at the games that I went to, that got me really excited because I want to be around an environment and a person like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you think about your game, if you had to single one thing out that you're most proud of in your game, what would it be?
I would say it's the shooting. Just all the hours like when people weren't in the gym, um, just spending time on the shooting gun, working on my mechanics, fixing things that needed to be fixed. I would say that's one of the aspects of my game that I'm the most proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really interesting because when you watch this past year's team, the person that's stepping out and having to move on is Brady Manek.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, you got a lot of that same skill set. So when you look at filling that 4 hole this year, do you think that's a place that you could step in?
Oh, definitely. It's something that I'm definitely going to work towards, and earn. Just putting in the work in since I step on campus and even while I'm here to earn that.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the opposite side of your game? What is something that when you watch tape or when you talk with coaches and stuff, what is probably the biggest thing you feel like you still need to work on to fill out your game?
I was just saying, getting my body I feel like the more that get my body together, the more I'll be able to excel and progress. So, that's just like taking contact, being able to, take hits, take a lot of contact and, just get faster, stronger, jump higher, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know one of the biggest things that people in the media like to do is make player comparisons. And, there's always like hey, I'm the only Jalen Washington. There's that side of it. But when you watch players, either people that have been at North Carolina before you or when you watch guys in the NBA right now, who do you like to model your game after, or who would you compare yourself to?
I wouldn't compare myself to anybody. I know a lot of guys say that. Some guys say they compare themselves to players. Some guys don't. But I feel like there's so many greats out there, and there's so many guys who just play the game the right way that I like to watch. I'm just a fan of so many different people's games that I could never just lock in on one person. Like obviously, I'm a huge Kobe fan, huge MJ fan. Other like bigs, like I love Tim Duncan. Love Kevin Garnett. Rasheed Wallace is one of my favorite bigs. So just watching those guys, Anthony Davis. It's so many different players that I had the chance to watch and just try to watch the game and see what they do. That got them to where they're at and where they were.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. Well, Jalen's going to be bringing all that game, all that competitiveness to Chapel Hill in just a little bit. But before we get to talking about him stepping onto college campus, let me tell you just a little bit about BetOnline. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find the latest odds, news, and developments, including all the basketball playoffs going on, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and of course, next season's NFL futures are already there. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering info, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about all the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. We are joined today on Locked on Tar Heels by Jalen Washington, incoming freshman for the North Carolina basketball team. Lots of excitement surrounding Jalen and his game. I know people are chomping at the bit, brother, to see you on campus and to get going. So, but right now you are still wrapping up high school. We were talking about that a little bit before we got going on our interview here. In full transparency, we're recording this on Monday evening, May 16th. And so at this point, Jalen, how many days of high school do you have left?
I got 9 days of high school left.
9 days. Are you going to graduate? Are you going to pass all your classes?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Without a doubt.
That's awesome. Has it been a good senior year for you?
Yeah, it has. It's been a lot of fun. I feel like I enjoyed the moment. Living in the present was one of the biggest things that I wanted to make sure that I live by for this year and even going forward. But I definitely feel like even though it didn't go the way that I wanted to, as far as playing, but I feel like academically I definitely did well. A lot of people may not know, but I'm salutatorian in my class. So, um, so I just try to, uh, just enjoy high school, and I feel like I did enjoy it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally didn't know that. So are you going to have to give a speech, or you got to do
Yeah,
anything for that?
yeah, I gotta give a speech. I've been working on it for about a week now. So,
Nice. How's your speech coming? You got a line for us?
uh, I can't recite. I haven't been memorizing it yet, but I'm gonna go over it once I finish
That's
it.
good. That's good, man. Excited to hear that. Way to go! What great example. Way to set that. I love what you're talking about living in the present. That's just if as an older guy, if there's anything I can tell you, it's just going to only go by faster from here once you get to college. So keep doing that. Keep living in the present every single moment. That's great. Great, great, great. So, you graduate, and then what are you looking forward to after that? Do you have when are you moving to Chapel Hill?
So I'll be in Chapel Hill. I think I get there on the 12th or the 13th of June.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to the whole experience of just being able to build a bond with my teammates, my roommates, getting to interact with people on the campus, getting to learn new things, experiencing the academic life, um, just everything from getting in the Dean Dome, um, playing the games, putting the jerseys on, every single game. Just the whole experience is really exciting. I'm looking forward to all of it.
Yeah, that's great. You talked about getting to know your roommates. Do you already know who you'll be living with?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'll be rooming with the other freshmen, Will, Tyler, Seth. Already kind of built a relationship up with those guys.
That's great.
So just looking forward to seeing them. Working out with them and playing with them.
Yeah, that's awesome because there are four of you, as most people know, and that you'll all be able to live together. Obviously, Will's been there this whole
Yeah.
semester, and so he can give the rest of you guys a little bit of the lay of the land.
Oh
What
yeah.
So you talked about you've gotten to know, and so for those who might not know, the other freshmen along with Jalen are Seth Trimble, who is the other younger brother of JP Tokoto, Tar Heel great, and we've also got Will Shaver, who we just mentioned, that's been there for a while, and then Tyler Nickel as well coming in. And so what kind of interaction have you been able to have with those guys already?
So I started talking to Seth first. We were at the same hotel during Peach Jam, so
Nice.
went to his room, went to some of his games, interacted with him there. Actually spent a little bit more time with him. Then we made a group chat after all four of us had committed, and while I was on my visit in February, I spent time with Will. Kind of talked about, gave him the lay of the land a little bit.
Yeah.
Just some info he picked up while he's been there for the few months that he has been. And then Tyler, just interacted through the group chat really. So, yeah.
That's great. Have you had much chance to get to know the guys that have committed coming in behind you in Simeon and Gigi?
Oh yeah. I talked to Gigi, um, back at the NBPA camp, last July, and I had been on him since then. I wanted them to lock in with Carolina. His game, huge fan of his game. Love how he's elevated. Simeon, huge fan of his game as well. Great guard. So really excited for them to see us play this year, and for them to come in and be able to play with them.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. You talked just a little bit earlier about getting cleared to play, and obviously I know that's a big question on a lot of people's minds. People are asking me all the time as though they assumed you and I have talked before. This is the first time Jalen and I have ever talked, so I've never had a chance to ask him. You've been through it, man, with these ACLs. Like, what's that process been like?
It's definitely been a lesson. And I feel like it's grown my faith even more. Just being through this adversity, and just being able to come back to God and ask for His help, His wisdom throughout the entire process. But it's definitely been a lesson I've learned. Patience is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned throughout this. Cause definitely got to be patient with the whole and understanding the bigger picture of everything. Um, but I would say that this process has taught me a lot, and I'm about 8 months out right now, and I'm doing great. I'm doing great, and I'm feeling great as well.
Good. Where? So are you going through rehab right now? What all are you doing right now?
I'm still going through rehab, just following protocol, as far as progressing back onto the court and being in the weight room and at therapy. So I've been able to do all of that, just under the the guidelines that the doctors and the medical staff want me to.
That's great. Well, I know you're super excited to get back on the court, especially knowing all those heralded summer games in Chapel Hill. I'm sure you're excited to hopefully get to take part in some of those.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
And thankfully, COVID's over, and so that can all happen again. And so that's great. So I wanted to ask you, Jalen, just two more questions, then I'll let you go. Number one, what was it like this year to watch this incredible run the team went on throughout March Madness, all the way up to that national championship game, knowing that in just a couple months, you're going to put that same jersey on and get to be part of helping get this team back to that same place?
Oh man, it was exciting. Even though I didn't want to see them lose, I wanted to see them win that game. It just put out another goal out there that I want to go reach and to be a part of that team. And it just drives me even more every day to build up to that goal and we want to win the championship.
Man, that's good. What I said two more. I lied. I've actually got one more before my last question that I wanted to ask you. What is it about Coach Davis that draws you to him? I know there's the connection where both of you are men of faith, but what, like, I know that plays in. What all is there that draws you to him?
He's just a real genuine guy. When you sit down and talk to him and just understand where he comes from and all things that he's been through and his life experience and what he wants for all of us players, not only as just basketball players, but as young men, it really means a lot. And I feel like that's where our connection, our relationship starts to build and grow. And that's what, kind of draws me towards a guy like him, just him being a real genuine guy. And off the and on the court, him, obviously him being a former player, one of the greatest shooters in Knicks history, in Tar Heel history as well. Just understanding like he's a great basketball mind, and just being wanting to learn from him and pick his brain about aspects of the game and grow.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Legitimately, this is my last question. I like to ask this to every Tar Heel at the end of an interview. And for you, this is a little bit different because you haven't experienced it yet. And so you got to answer this from the front end of it. But what does it mean to you as someone who this was your dream school and you dreamt of going here? What does it mean to you now to be a Tar Heel?
It means everything. If I could put it into one word, everything. It's so much that went into this process. And went into where I am now. And for me to be a Tar Heel means a lot.
Gosh, that's great. Well, listen, Jalen, I know you don't get to hear all the compliments and comments and stuff, but because of what I do, I get to hear it a lot. My friend, people are really excited to watch you, to get to meet you. They're really excited about Jalen the person, but also Jalen the basketball player. And on behalf of all those people, I just want to welcome you to the Carolina family, man. It's going to be great to have you as part of this family.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Jalen, so much.
No problem.
Well, that's it for this week on Locked On Tar Heels. Man, we've had a great week, great interviews with Jalen Washington today, seeing Wilcher's father Sergio earlier in the week. We talked with John Garcia Jr. yesterday. Man, just talking about Gigi Jackson on Wednesday. What a fun week looking ahead and looking at right now. So good. If you would, take a minute, again, as I've asked you, and go ahead and subscribe to the show. Just help this community continue to grow. Another great way you can do that is by rating and reviewing the show. Would love for you to talk about why you enjoy listening or watching Locked On Tar Heels. You can follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Heels. You can follow me on Twitter at Isaac Shade, ISAACSCHADE. And make sure you go and give Jalen a follow on Twitter as well. Well, thank you so much for making the show your first listen every single day. Can't wait to see what's in store next week, and I'm sure you are too, so make sure you tune in. But as for today, make sure that you make Locked On ACC your second listen. Get all your daily ACC news in less than 30 minutes. Free and available everywhere you get podcasts. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me once again this week. As we said, such a great time. So many great people that are part of the Carolina family. You know what that reminds me? That it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Until next week, peace!